Hi, I read the book Hacking Classroom Management by Mike Roberts, and I would absolutely recommend this book for any teacher who wants to create a really positive classroom community that is able to avoid classroom management problems from the start. I think the advice in this book is really applicable for teachers at any level, elementary school through high school, that teach any subject. He sticks to universal concepts and ideas. A basic summary is that he gives 10 steps that will help teachers create a healthy and positive classroom community that focuses on motivating students to do their best, and that's going to then lead to better learning outcomes for them and help you as a teacher to avoid those classroom management problems. So the first step here focuses on student autonomy. The focus is on giving students more choices wherever possible, instead of just like a long list of rules. For example, not having a seating chart, not making them ask to use the bathroom, and instead just having a sign-out sheet, for example. And the focus of this is to build that foundation of trust and respect, that if you show students that you trust them and you respect them, that they respond really positively to that. The second idea is to set and model high expectations, that you should have high expectations for every student, not just certain students, in order to do that you really have to differentiate, because obviously students do have different needs and abilities. But if you meet those and differentiate for them, then you can have the same high expectations for everybody. Also at the same time, you should hold yourself to high standards in how you act and how you dress, and how responsible you are and like reading quickly, things like that. And it's important to be really positive and show optimism to your students every single day. Next is to see students as people, not just like students in your class. So Robert says it's important to go to their events whenever you can, to try and make that a priority. Go to sports events, performances, whatever it may be, even to like coach or lead a club if it's possible for you. The next advice is controlled movement, that students are sitting all day, so obviously they have excess energy they need to get out. So instead of like leaving them to sort of make trouble, that you can control that energy better and avoid those outbursts by having activities like a turn and talk, something as simple as just like turning and talking to a neighbor, or like taking students on a walk as they're like talking about a certain concept. During a class discussion, they could write their answers on the board. They could like move and form different groups during a discussion. Whatever it is that lets them like move around a little bit is going to break up the tedium of their day and really help them get all the excess energy of youth out, instead of letting them just cause problems. A good tool that he mentioned in the book is social media, that doing activities based around social media really helps boost student engagement and gets them excited about what they're doing. So, for example, like you might show a YouTube video that talks about your content for the day, or you might have an assignment for students to do, like creating a tweet that summarizes what they learned, making an Instagram post or a TikTok video talking about what they learned, and things like this that really help them like think about and analyze the topic, but in a way that's relevant and fun for them. Next advice is to personalize learning. And I love what he said, that we teach students, not content. Another great analogy was that classes should be more like a video game, not a movie. The students need to be involved, and it needs to be personalized to them for them to really learn. So it's really important to give students choice, like what we talked about in class, with the choice boards, learning playlists, activities where students get to pick what kind of activity or project they want to do, maybe what topic exactly they want to like really focus in on, and also to vary your teaching methods. Students learn in different ways, and it's important to meet all of those. Like we said in class, you don't want to teach to an empty room. We need to focus on giving students a chance to learn the material, not just on getting through content. Robert's next tip is self-assessment. Rather than like you as a teacher just giving them grades all the time, letting students do more assessment of their own work so that they have the chance to reflect on it. One idea was to do self-grading in class. So after a certain test, for example, you could sit down with your students and like go through the answers all together, let them grade their own work. So this way it's still another learning opportunity. And he also recommended doing peer feedback so that students can read each other's work and give suggestions on like things that were very effective and things that maybe they could improve and give ideas for improvement. In class, we just talked about the importance of good feedback that really focuses on suggestions for how to improve rather than just simply a grade. And these are things that we can implement in our classes to help achieve that goal. Positive communication. Robert stressed the importance of having positive communication with parents especially, and one easy way to do that he recommended was send 3 daily positive emails home to parents. These can be really short, but just like a positive shout out about students who did well in your class, and let parents know about that. Also, be quick to praise students, and people really respond positively to this. He also recommended a fun activity at the beginning of the year where you can ask parents to tell you a little bit about their students and then possibly share those things with the class. And that's a way to build great rapport with the parents and the students of your classrooms. The 9th tip he gave was to begin and end class positively. This includes greeting students at the door, doing quick warm-ups every day that aren't about class content necessarily, but rather like life skills, inspirational quotes or videos, gratitude, asking students about their weekends, etc. Like starting class in that positive way that builds those skills that maybe aren't part of your content but still important for students to know. And then to end class with shout outs every day. Praise students that did really well and try to vary that to make sure that you're including everybody. And this again helps students feel like you see them as people and not just students. And then the last tip is to have fun. That again, students are young, they need to have fun, they can't just sit and be serious all day, every day. And so it's important to just have little bits of fun consistently. And there's a way to do that that still lets you teach them the important things of your class. So review games like Kahoot are always super popular. Acknowledging student birthdays and giving them small privileges like a special chair or, I don't know, maybe a piece of candy or wherever it is. He also recommended things like sharing stories from your own life. This helps you build a better relationship with students, and taking field trips whenever possible, though obviously that's a little harder. So those are all of the tips that he gave, and I think that they are all really applicable for basically any teacher at any level, like I said before, although I will say that some are a little less applicable than others. For example, this tip of going on more frequent field trips or bringing in guest speakers obviously just isn't always financially or time-wise possible. Also for the movement, he's just using standing desks, and again, some schools just don't have that in the budget. So it's important to acknowledge those things, but overall these are things that wouldn't be hard for any teacher to apply. And I've drawn several connections to the things we talked about in class with the use of useful feedback rather than simply grading, as well as teaching students, not content, and also active learning. A lot of these suggestions involve active learning, that students are learning through doing and really experiencing the content rather than just like sitting and receiving it passively. So one example activity that I really like is the example of sort of as an exit ticket, having students create like a fake tweet that summarizes the things that they learned in class that day. And he said that students get really into this because it uses social media and tell them that they can use hashtags and emojis, and those are things that they'll really enjoy and let them be creative while they're thinking about what they've learned. And then you can display these in your classroom, you can shout out some that you really liked, and this is that positive communication that he talked about. So in the end, I would absolutely recommend all of you to go out and read this book, Hacking Classroom Management by Mike Roberts. I think it's applicable for any teacher, including social studies teachers, and there's a lot to be gained from it that will just help you be a better teacher in small, easy ways every single day. Thanks for listening.